New footage has come out.
The WNBA is investigating hateful fan comments after the Clark-Reese incident.
WNBA announced their latest initiative. No space for hate. No space for hate.
Unfortunately, this league continues to prove that it's not that. It's actually embarrassing.
It damn near destroyed the league.
Just 2 minutes ago, everything changed. New footage has surfaced, and it confirms what Caitlyn Clark fans have been saying all along. The WNBA's media machine isn't just biased, it's corrupt.
The only thing that they are investigating has to do with the Chicago Sky. It doesn't have, they're not protecting the Indiana Fever.
They only talked about the flagrant foul, and they only talked about how Indiana is dangerous. They talked about how Indiana is dangerous.
The WNBA has implemented a special program for her this year. The program is specifically designed for fans of Caitlyn Clark, or as the mainstream media prefers to call them, evil white people.
Instead of celebrating the one player keeping this league alive,
if you want to grow as a league, you have to make space for actual sports fans.
They're targeting her, silencing her fans, and rewriting the narrative to protect their agenda. This isn't about basketball anymore. It's a takedown. And now with the cameras rolling, the truth they tried to hide is out in the open.
She's the only star in the WNBA worth talking about. Hell, she's the only star in the WNBA, period.
If you stand with Caitlyn Clark, drop 100% in the comments right now. Let them know we see everything.
It is a mad situation just all around when it comes to Caitlyn Clark.
Caitlyn Clark effect seems to be crazier than year one.
The WNBA could have had a golden era. They had the most talked about rookie in decades, Caitlyn Clark, sellout crowds, historic ratings, national buzz. But instead of riding the wave, the league seems hell-bent on crashing it.
WNBA media has a serious problem. These people are actually saying that the WNBA needs to investigate Caitlyn Clark's triple-double.
Why? Because Caitlyn Clark didn't come through their system. She didn't play their game. And worst of all, for them, she's winning fans they never had. League Commissioner Kathy Engelbert should be thanking Clark every morning. Instead, she's too busy tiptoeing around fragile egos and woke PR campaigns that do nothing but divide.
It is a balance, but she's a generational talent. No league's ever about one player, but in this case, Caitlyn brought tens of millions of new viewers into the W, and there's no denying that impact. But again, you do want to balance it because obviously you saw what happened with Juju Watkins, getting hurt. You want to balance making sure that you're also promoting your other stars like an Asia Wilson, like a Brianna Stewart. Nafisa Collier killed it last year. I mean, she was the runner-up, MVP, and the Defensive Player of the Year.
I loved her.
This year, sustain the momentum we had last year and gain even new viewers.
While the NBA built loyalty through generations, fathers and sons watching together, decades of tradition, the WNBA has none of that. No legacy, no loyalty. And yet they act like they can afford to alienate the only real fan base they've ever had, Caitlyn Clark's.
There is serious demand to see Caitlyn Clark. And this dumbass league, they are doing everything they can to convince Caitlyn Clark fans to not show up.
And the media? Even worse. Instead of highlighting her insane stats, clutch plays, and game-changing impact, they obsess over drama. They downplay her triple-doubles, then amplify every fake controversy they can link her to. ESPN did an entire segment after the Chicago game, but never once broke down her actual performance. All they talked about was Angel Reese and how dangerous it was for her to play in Indiana. Dangerous. The footage showed kids cheering and chanting her name. That's what they call hate now. Let's be real. Caitlyn Clark is being held to a different standard. When Angel Reese talks trash, it's competitive spirit.
Angel Reese is immune to criticism from the WNBA front office because she's an innocent victim who's being oppressed by white men and women, and in some extreme cases, white they and them.
When Clark drops 30 and stares down her defender, suddenly it's problematic. The media wants her boxed in, silent, and controllable. But fans see through it. That's why they're showing up in droves. For her, not for the league.
The WNBA is actively attacking fans of Caitlyn Clark. They are going to be monitoring fan behavior at arenas.
And the WNBA, instead of embracing that momentum, they're policing it, silencing it, mocking it. Caitlyn Clark saved their season, and in return, they're trying to erase her shine. Let's call it what it really is. No Space for Hate isn't a campaign against hate. It's a campaign against Caitlyn Clark's fan base. The WNBA rolled out this shiny new initiative with perfect PR timing right before launching their first so-called investigation into fan behavior.
The WNBA is investigating hateful fan comments after the Clark-Reese incident.
And who was the target? Not Angel Reese's crew, not players flipping off fans.
The Angel Reese fans, the old guard, the lowest common denominator that resides in the WNBA, the nose picker, the people that scratch their butt and don't watch their hands, those people saw that Caitlyn Clark hard foul on Angel Reese, and they saw it as an opportunity.
Not the ones refusing to stand for the anthem. No, the first and only group under fire were Caitlyn Clark supporters. The league didn't even try to hide it. Within 72 hours of announcing the new policy, they launched an internal probe focused on discrimination and hate speech.
The WNBA said Sunday it is investigating allegations of hateful fan comments directed at Angel Reese during Saturday's game between the Chicago Sky and the Indiana Fever in Indianapolis after an incident involving Caitlyn Clark and Reese.
Directed at opposing players. But here's the kicker. The only thing anyone could find was a crowd full of families, kids cheering, and people clapping. That's hate now? That's what warrants league-wide investigations? There were over 17,000 people in Gainbridge Fieldhouse that night. 17,000 phones. 17,000 chances to catch a racist slur, a hateful chant, or something out of bounds.
Unfortunately, the WNBA conveniently failed to provide examples of these violations. Evidence of this alleged harassment, it was never provided, even though the encounter was being filmed.
And yet no video has surfaced, no audio, no evidence, nothing. Not even a blurry clip, not even a tweet. And this is 2024, where someone films their Starbucks order in 4K. Why? Because the hate didn't happen, but the WNBA needed it to happen, so they made it up. And while this so-called investigation brewed, Angel Reese played victim in the media.
An investigation going on because there has been hateful fan comments, supposedly, directed towards Angel Reese. And there were things going on in the arena where now the narrative is back that we heard all last season. The narrative is back that Indiana is not a safe place.
The same Angel who mocks fans on Twitter, claps back at criticism, and loves the spotlight suddenly claimed to feel targeted. The same league that ignored Caitlyn being shoved, elbowed, and hacked every game now wants to police applause? Give us a break. Let's not ignore the racial undertones here either, because the media sure isn't. Every time Caitlyn Clark trends, they throw around buzzwords: white savior, privileged, protected. Her fans who just want to watch great basketball are dismissed as problematic, coded as outsiders. You'll hear it over and over. This isn't their league. But last time we checked, the WNBA is struggling to survive, and these new fans are the only ones filling arenas.
Nothing happened during that game. There were no fans that were approached. There were no players who called out certain fans. There weren't other fans who were reporting other fans to get them kicked out of the game. Fans are petitioning for the All-Star game to not be held in Indiana because it's clearly not safe.
The double standard couldn't be more obvious. Angel Reese can celebrate with sunglasses on the bench, talk trash in pressers, and get labeled a queen. But Clark, one hard stare or a fiery response, and suddenly she's public enemy number one. It's not about the behavior, it's about who's doing it. And that's the dangerous line the WNBA and its media enablers have crossed.
When it comes to a league that I thought was a professional basketball league, unfortunately, this league continues to prove that it's not that.
And let's not forget the fine print of this no space for hate policy. It's not just about banning violent fans. According to the league's own statements, they're using AI to monitor fan behavior on social media. They're tracking posts, flagging criticism, and even blocking people from buying tickets or commenting on WNBA-related content. You heard that right. If you call out bad officiating or say something the league doesn't like, you might get banned from buying tickets. Think about that for a second. A league that's been begging for attention for decades is now threatening to block fans for speaking freely? That's not regulation. That's censorship. And who do you think this policy is really for? You think they're monitoring Angel Reese's fans for trash talk? You think they're coming after Aja Wilson stands for trolling online? Please, the policy was designed from day one to monitor and punish one specific group: Caitlyn Clark supporters. You can hate the term agenda all you want, but this is the agenda. Instead of building a league around the one player putting them on the map, they're burning it all down in the name of optics and politics. Caitlyn Clark isn't just being targeted on the court. Her fans are now targets off the court.
But when the policy was announced, I told you guys exactly what this was. It was a direct attack against fans of Caitlyn Clark.
And the WNBA has no idea the fire they've lit. Here's the moment it all unraveled. Cameras were rolling, phones were out, the arena was packed. And when the Chicago Sky walked onto the court, the only sound in Gainbridge Fieldhouse was cheering, not jeering, not hate, not slurs, just kids yelling, "Angel!" like they were meeting a celebrity. That's the new footage the media won't show you. That's the reality the WNBA is desperately trying to spin into a lie. They needed a narrative, and they chose hate because it sells, because victimhood gets headlines. So when a crowd of 17,000 fans came to see Caitlyn Clark and didn't boo Angel Reese, the league panicked.
These leagues have decades of history. They have generations of fans who have been conditioned to watch.
That didn't fit the script, so they invented one. Hours later, anonymous accusations surfaced. The WNBA posted vague statements about unacceptable fan behavior, launched an investigation, and the media ran wild with it. But not 1 second of footage backed it up. Not one clip, not one tweet, not even a blurry screenshot. And this wasn't some low-level, small-town game. This was a nationally televised event in a packed NBA arena, with cameras everywhere, social media buzzing, ESPN covering it, and still nothing. The only actual footage that surfaced: kids clapping, families cheering, people of all backgrounds, black, white, Latino, waving signs for both teams. That's it. But even when that truth came out, the media didn't stop. Instead, they doubled down. ESPN spent zero time breaking down Clark's performance, zero time analyzing the actual basketball. All they focused on: a flagrant foul, a tweet from Angel.
The clip that has seen around the world was Caitlyn Clark's foul on Angel Reese that was upgraded to a flagrant one. This is the clip that every media outlet is going to use. Here come the think pieces. Here come the social media trolls who are gonna go crazy over this one play. And I was actually nervous about it.
And a lazy narrative that Indiana fans are dangerous. And when that didn't stick, they turned on Clark directly. Some even suggested her triple-double should be investigated for point shaving. Yes, point shaving. Because a rookie guard hitting stats is apparently more suspicious than a league pulling every string it can to dim her spotlight. Think about how insane that is. The same media outlets that ignore Caitlyn getting elbowed, shoved, and dragged through screens are now claiming she's rigging games because a gambler hit a parlay. Are we serious? Was anyone calling for an investigation when Aja Wilson scored 53? Or when Angel stayed in during blowouts to pad stats? Of course not, because those stories don't threaten the old media hierarchy. Caitlyn does. The real threat Caitlyn Clark poses isn't just on the scoreboard, it's cultural. She's unfiltered, competitive, unapologetically intense. She doesn't play into the WNBA's media machinery. She doesn't bend to the groupthink. She's not checking boxes, kissing rings, or asking for approval. She just wins. She just shows up. And that scares the hell out of the league's echo chamber.
Like Caitlyn Clark spoke about rivalries. Let's play this.
You guys love it, that's for sure.
Rivalry.
Yeah, I mean, you guys love it, that's for sure. But I told Michael this yesterday. I was like, rivalry is great for sport. Like, I understand that. I grew up loving rivalries. Like, I grew up in Iowa State. That's like a pro matchup in the state of Iowa. Like, I understand that. Or whether it was my high school team, like, I still hate a rival high school, Valley High School. Sorry, I'm sure there's a lot of people from Valley High School that love me and support me now. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you guys, but I wasn't your biggest fan. I didn't like the Tigers growing up. So my parents, my grandfather was the football coach growing up, and Valley was our biggest rival. It was the biggest class in Iowa. And I was taught to, growing up, if we were driving by the high school, to hold my breath because I couldn't breathe that air. Like, I know it's kind of funny, but like rivalry is always a big thing. So I think it's more than anything, like as a player, you approach the game the same every single time, or you should. That's how you should approach every single game. You prepare the same way. You come ready to play, whether it's the team that's last in the league or the team that's first in the league. It doesn't matter. I think for the fans, it's great. They love it. And I mean, Chicago is the closest team to us. You know, we bust there usually, so I get it geographically. But I think for our team and our group, it's, you know, we prepare the same way every single game. But I expect today to be an awesome game.
Let's not forget, before Caitlyn Clark, the WNBA was a punchline. They were playing in high school gyms. They were giving away tickets just to fill bleachers. ESPN barely covered them outside of top 10 bloopers. But now, because of her, we have sellout crowds. Merchandise selling out overnight. Kids lining up for autographs.
This is what a sellout looks like. 17,274 fans, and it was fully sold out. It was packed.
I'm looking at Caitlyn Clark make an announcement today that it's over. The BS, denying her place in the game. She's going to rewrite and shatter the record books. She could easily average a triple-double.
Games being moved to NBA arenas. And yet, every single week, we see another smear job, another investigation, another hit piece. Even the way they film her games says it all. You'll see Angel Reese get close-ups for warming up. Aja Wilson gets post-game interviews for scoring 10. But Caitlyn, her camera cuts are short, the commentary is cold, and if she celebrates, even a little, they act like she's violating a sacred code, like she's not allowed to have fire, like she's not allowed to lead, and the moment she responds to any of it, she's painted as arrogant. That's how deep the corruption runs. This isn't just unfair, it's deliberate, it's orchestrated, and now with this new footage surfacing, it's exposed. The league's claims of hate fall apart the moment you press play. What you actually see is a diverse, passionate, excited crowd.
Where was this type of reaction last year when Angel Reese got chokeslammed by Alyssa Thomas of the Connecticut Sun? Y'all remember that? She got fouled so hard, they kicked Aaliyah Thomas out the game with a flagrant 2 foul. What did Angel Reese do? Nothing. She didn't get up and try to swing on her. You know why? The reaction was different because of who did it. And there is a lot of history there with Caitlyn Clark and Angel Reese. You guys remember last year when Angel Reese celebrated Kennedy Carter getting that flagrant foul on the hip check against Caitlyn Clark? You remember that? On the sideline, just, yeah, baby, get her, you get her. Who celebrates like that for a flagrant foul on another player if they don't dislike that player? Okay, you want some more evidence? Here's some more evidence. Remember last year when they were talking about who gets the credit for the expansion and the eyeballs and the popularity boost of women's basketball, not just the WNBA, but women's basketball in general, because of the spike in the women's NCAA tournament and in WNBA viewership. A lot of people were attributing that to Caitlyn Clark, and rightfully so. This is what Angel Reese had to say, and I quote, "People are talking about women's basketball. You never would think they'd be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to the games. We got celebrities coming to the games, sold out arenas just because of one single game. Just looking at that, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on to be that for my teammates. I know I'll go down in history. I'll look back in 20 years and be like, the reason we're watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too. I want y'all to realize that." Now, I heard a lot of people say that I or others have made Angel Reese the villain. Did you not just hear herself call herself the bad guy? She called herself the villain. I'm not making her the villain. She's making herself the villain.
Celebrating the one player who's making this league matter, the one player who's bridging generations, genders, and politics. Caitlyn Clark didn't bring hate into the WNBA. She brought hope. But instead of protecting her, they're building walls around her, isolating her, punishing her fans. Because the truth is, Caitlyn Clark changed the game so fast, the league wasn't ready, and the media, they'd rather destroy her than admit she's the reason people finally care. Let that sink in. The cameras caught the truth, and now so did we. The footage is out, the agenda is clear, and now the WNBA's corrupt media can't hide behind fake headlines or manufactured outrage. Caitlyn Clark isn't the problem. She's the reason this league is still breathing. But instead of embracing her, they're alienating her, investigating her fans.
If there are fans who are saying racial slurs, they should immediately be kicked out and banned.
Policing applause, silencing the one force actually growing the game. This isn't about protecting players. This is about control. It's about power. And it's about shutting down anyone who doesn't fall in line, including you. But here's the truth. They can't cancel a movement. They can't silence what they can't control. And Caitlyn Clark, she's not going anywhere. If you're tired of the lies, if you see what's really going on, drop 100% in the comments and share this video with someone who still believes the media's version of the story. We'll keep speaking the truth. We'll keep defending the one player who saved this league from irrelevance. This isn't just a basketball story anymore. It's a battle for what's real.